What's going on, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden, and this is Dreamland. We're going to continue. It's by Sam Quinones. This is chapter 47. It's called A Pro Wrestler's Legacy, page 253. Seattle, Washington. In 2007, Alex Kahana opened the door to what had been John Bonica's Center for Pain Relief at the University of Washington and found a cobwebbed relic. The path-breaking clinic was now a windowless basement. No signs announced it. Calendars were out of date, piles of papers sat near unread charts, and stacks of still unpacked boxes that sagged like old wedding cakes. As Kahana walked its corridors, the clinic's fifth interim director told him how much he wanted out. This is what remained of the world's first pain clinic. The concept of pain as a disease, a topic worth study, originated here. So too did the idea that chronic pain had many causes and thus needed not just drugs, but occupational, physical, and psychological therapy too. Even social workers had a role. Bonica, the anesthesiologist and former pro wrestler, had founded the clinic. He wrote a classic pain management textbook from what he had learned. He retired in 1977 and died in 1994. Later, his disciple, Dr. John Loescher, expanded Bonica's clinic. Hundreds of clinics followed across the country, but insurance companies gradually stopped paying for the services that made the clinics multidisciplinary. Prescription pills were easier and cheaper, and at least for a while they worked well. In 1998, Loescher resigned as the multidisciplinary clinic was marginalized at the school that had invented the idea. A decade later, Kahana said, "It was as if the clinic didn't exist. It was a metaphor for what happened to multidisciplinary pain management." The staff called it the dungeon. Stepping through this wreckage was a bittersweet moment. Alex Kahana had long been inspired by John Loescher. Kahana began his pain specialty in the Israeli army in the late 1980s, with battlefield experience. He attended a conference in Paris in 1993 where he met Loescher, who was then president of the International Association for the Study of Pain. Kahana remembered Loescher's message, that pain is the essence of what we do as doctors, that relieving pain is basic medicine. He spoke about Bonica being a military physician who, after witnessing the suffering of his wife during childbirth, decided to create modern pain medicine, and to do that, you had to be multidisciplinary. That inspired Kahana. Years later, when the University of Washington asked him to resurrect the clinic, Alex Kahana knew its importance in the history of pain management. Succeeding Bonica and Loescher was a dream come true, but he saw why the school went abroad to find someone to take the job. "It was a completely broken system that no one would touch," he said. Kahana wrote a 43-page contract committing the school to a new above-ground clinic. He wanted windows and the walls made of natural materials and painted with soft colors. He wanted a bullpen, an open area where doctors had desks but not offices, so they could help better share information. He wanted the best imaging machines to help locate body pain. He wanted a nurse manager overseeing it all. The school agreed. On April Fool's Day 2008, Kahana started his new job. He was immediately shocked at the patients at the UW clinic. These were people on tons of opioids for a long time, completely broken and abused. We're talking hundreds of milligrams of morphine equivalent doses I had never seen in my life, 400, 500, 600 milligrams a day. What's more, no one tracked the effects of opiates on a patient's pain, function, depression, or sleep. He called colleagues elsewhere and found this to be true across the U.S. Not one center had measurements-based pain care. This is 2008, he said. It would all be subjective. They're doing fine or not doing fine. There was a pain rating scale, 1 to 10. It was insane. A multi-billion-dollar industry was based on no measurements whatsoever. Kahana began resurrecting what Loescher and Bonica had built. He and his staff came up with a computerized questionnaire and shorter follow-ups for each time a patient visited. If a patient said his pain was less but things were going poorly, maybe there was another issue. There, Alex Kahana ran into the problem John Loescher faced. An insurance company would reimburse thousands of dollars for a procedure, but Kahana couldn't get them to reimburse $75 for a social worker, even if it was likely that some part of the patient's pain was rooted in unemployment or marital strife. Nobody thinks those things are of value. Talk therapy is reimbursed about $15 an hour, Kahana said. But for me to stick a needle in you, I can get $850,000 or $800 to $5,000. The system values things that aren't only not helpful, but sometimes hurt patients. Science has shown things to have worked, and the insurance companies won't pay for them. We'll continue with the book, page 256, chapter 48. Great time to be a heroin dealer on the next episode. Hope you're enjoying the book, guys. Keep fighting that good fight.